Hello everyone, in today's chess video we are back with another exciting opening, which is the Scandinavian defense. So today's video is sponsored by chess.com. You can join by clicking the link in the description and you will be seeing the link on the main screen. So let's head toward the board and let's continue our main topic. So the Scandinavian defense, formerly better known in English text as the center counter or the central game, black's seventh most popular response to e4. So let's talk about the starting position. So the Scandinavian is one of the black's most offbeat response to white's e4 pawn. So which means it starts with the e4, where black immediately attacks the white pawn with d5. Black, instead of playing d4, we play d5. So this is how it got its old name of the center counter, because black immediately counters in the center. Easily white's best response and overwhelming is most popular is to capture with e takes d5. You can take this pawn. Although it is black's first move that defines the Scandinavian, the position after that pawn capture is effectively the starting position for the opening. It's at this point where the Scandinavian really gets interesting. So either you should, as white, if you are playing as white, you should take this pawn or not, and at this stage the game changes. So let's talk about its variations and then we will talk about its pros and cons. Let's take moves back and start from the beginning. Black has two main second moves. After this e4, e5. At this stage there are two main variations. Black can either take with the d5 pawn with the queen, or the instead of this black can play knight to f6. So knight to f6, planning to recapture with the knight. The former of these options breaks the rule often taught to players just starting out or not developing the queen too early. So I don't mostly support people from early queen developments. So in the in by bringing the knight to f6, you just hold up your queen and you just develop other pieces. So what if the queen takes d5? So white actually has several reasonable options here, but by far the most common is knight to c3. So white can just simply play knight to c3, attacking the queen. So that's why the black exposed his queen, so that he has to take this back. So the temptation at black on move 3 may be to check the white king down the e file, but this is considered inferior to main 3 alternative. So instead of you can just, so at this stage what here the black can play, black can just play queen to a5. So in the third move, if black plays queen to a5, so the most common move for black often plays c6 to drop the queen back to c7 square. So next time in the next move, let's just say white moved his knight to f3. Now black moved this pawn to c6. So in the next move, if this queen is under threat, you can just move this queen and take this back to where it came from. So this is just a one wasted move, but you can just simply play this. So after playing the c7, at some point at this So what does the black here does is just develops in the next move he can just develop the light square bishop. So the pawn on c6 and e6 create a solid structure for black. However, this is not the only way to play this position. So many uh, chess players in the 1995 played this move. You can just simply play pawn to b5. So now you have a complete solid structure, and in the next move you can just develop your pieces. And if you push this pawn further in the next move, you can just thread this bishop. So moving back, when the queen takes the pawn, what if the black plays in the next move after its pawn was the queen was attacked by knight, black with queen to d5. Why black took his queen back. So this move only becomes more popular over time. It is generally more flexible than the other options, and black often obtains an imbalanced position, including, if possible, queenside castling. So the fact that white can play knight to b5 to attack the queen again is not a big deal for black, because it wastes time for white, as it can develop some attack with the pawn. So instead of this, white can just black has to save first his pawn and then attack with this. He has to move his pawn further. So these were the main 3 to 4 moves which black and white can play. And let's just say analyze one more move. After e4 in e5, white takes, and now what if queen, the move was moved, queen takes the d5 pawn, and now in the next move white plays knight to b3 attacking the queen. So what if at this stage black takes the queen back to d8. So this is the oldest move, which is considered passive but playable. Black is just looking to return the queen to safety before setting up the same solid structure. With pawn on c6, in the next move, let's just say white can develop many pieces, but at this stage black in the next move can attack with the c6 pawn. Okay, this is for the sake of the video. Or in the next move, instead of c6, black can just simply develop his other move. He can just play pawn to e6 if it's black turn. So the third move can be black can just simply play e6. So black also has an alternative of the dark square bishop. If I don't know why it's not moving, it's not even pinned. Let's just say black plays this, and at this stage white can just simply develop its light square bishop to this, and in the next few moves black can just simply play e6. White can at this stage go and castle, and black develops e6. So and like this the game continues. So another exciting move which I'll be talking about is after e4 and e5. So this is the Scandinavian defense, where if white takes, and instead of taking with the queen, you just play knight to f6. So if black does not want to bring the queen out, this is the move to play. White can try to keep the pawn with c4. So the white plays pawn to c4, or continue develop with either bishop to b5 or as I say, white can just simply play bishop to b5 or d4. Simply play, you can just. So the trade-off for black is that while the queen does not come out early, the king will have to move at least twice to regain the pawn. So let's just say white will knight f6, and now white protects his pawn, and now either black can just throw some kind of gambit here and offer an early queen exchange. So if white takes the pawn, and now you can take this back with the knight, and now you have one more pawn in the center. Black, when white has some less control in the center. So what are the pros and cons? We have played many moves after the third move. So what are the pros and cons for this move? So I like this opening because black opens the game immediately, and he can develop its queen or the knight as quick as soon as possible. And usually both black bishops have freedom, so and it's a provocative opening itself. So there are also some drawbacks of this game. After the capture at e takes d5, black loses time to recapture. So black can either capture with the pawn or with the queen, or just play knight f3. So because white loses some time, he is in danger of a quick knockout, and white usually has most central space. So the main variation you should know about the Scandinavian defense is to play the knight f6, or to play the queen to d5 and capturing the pawn. So how to play against the Scandinavian defense? This is a quick theory which I should give it to you. So the first key to playing against Scandinavian as white is to always play knight e takes d5. So whenever you are playing, you have faced this, you should play e2 e takes d5. You should always take the pawn. So other moves like knight to c3 or e5 are playable, but only give blacks an immediate equal position, are rather easy to meet naturally. So however, white has much more flexible on move 3. If black captures on d5 with the queen, let's just say black captures this with the queen, it is not necessary to play knight to c3, knight f3 and d4, and these are also the good moves. You can just simply attack the queen, and you just have to move it, and you allow his queen to escape and go back. So the instead, and you can just simply play knight to f3. So what does the knight to f3 does is that it gives you the control of these two important squares, and then you can just simply develop some other knights, other pieces. Let's just say you can just develop this piece like this other pieces and attacking the king. So if in the next move white takes your knight, and you can recapture the queen.